Hello, everybody. My name is Richard C. Wilson, founder of the Family Office Club. And then today I have with me Juan Gonzalez from Eagle Eye International. Welcome, Juan.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.
Great. So what is it exactly that Eagle Eye does?
Pretty simple, Rich. We managed to get in business mostly through Mexico and Latin America about 10 years ago, and we protect assets, infrastructure, and personnel worldwide.
Okay. And specifically within the family office or private investor segment, what are the types of solutions that you're often providing to those types of clients?
Sure. So we provide a lot of global travel. We recently started a lot of domestic residential work as well. But for the most part, anybody that's traveling, across the United States or even across the globe, getting there, doing the advanced work, providing intelligence decks so they know what's going to happen and what has happened historically in those spaces that they're visiting. We do it for corporate executives all the way down to women and children that are going maybe separate from their family. And we also do a lot of due diligence products, background, vetting for corporate and high net worth individuals that are thinking about doing business in certain sectors, not just domestically, but internationally as well. We can really reach out with our network and dig real deep and do a lot of deep dive work.
Okay, great. Yeah, international kind of background checks can be pretty challenging. People aren't sure who to use for that versus domestic sometimes. And then, I went to Cuba with some other business owners a few years ago, and then my wife talked about going with one of her girlfriends the next year. And I thought to myself, like, wandering around in Cuba with her and her one other girlfriend, I wasn't sure how comfortable of a thing that would be. And I can only imagine, like, when my daughters are in college and they say they want to go to someplace like that, or, Brazil or whatever. I guess those types of situations is where you guys come in and just kind of you can shadow someone or just kind of, help make it safer than if you didn't work with Eagle Eye, I guess, right?
Yep. Absolutely right. I have kids myself, and they're getting into the teenage ages, and they're starting to want to go places with friends and stuff. And I can see, my heart skipping a beat a little bit as they start to move out of this village, that we live in, as they start to travel abroad. So we provide that personal touch where we always have some sort of oversight and supervision over loved ones anywhere in the world.
Right. Great. So whoever's your daughter's first boyfriend better watch out, because you're going to be on top of what's going on in general, right? And intimidate them nicely the first time they come over.
That's right. There's going to be quite a vetting process for any male that steps foot in the house.
That's great. What's like your core value add process that's allowed you to grow Eagle Eye over the years and make you a success versus some of the other security companies that stay as kind of a 1 or 2 person shop over time?
Right. Good question. So responsiveness is key. I can't tell you how many times I get turned off when I'm looking for a basic service and I get a machine or I get somebody that does not call or answer back. We are uber responsive. We actually have standard operating procedures for getting back to a client within minutes. There's no excuse these days with having our phones in our hands all the time. I can't tell how many times people tell me, well, I didn't get that message. Well, I've been watching you. You have your hand in your hand all the time. And this is me talking to my daughter, right, when she doesn't get my text or answer my calls. So being uber responsive and hyper responsive to client needs or requirements is number one. Number two is accountability and responsibility. We like to take on client problem sets and solve them from A to Z. We like to involve them when needed as the situation dictates, but we really like to take on the full scope of the problem and solve it ourselves. With the network that we have today, that's kind of a no-brainer for us. We've got guys from other government agencies. We got people overseas. We have a lot of our network on our own that has been in the business for 15, 20 years. So our network really helps us reach out and grab everything that we need to grab. And I think number three would be, our ability to stay flexible. We are very flexible. We know that these are trying times, pre and post COVID. We had already been working as a disarticulated bunch at Eagle Eye because we have different offices all throughout the United States. So being flexible, understanding the clients and how flexible they need to be sometimes, in order to solve their problems. So I think those are basically our top three, Rich.
Right. Makes sense. So hearing you talk about standard operating procedures and kind of like your processes makes me think that also, since you're a security company, you're probably like 75 to 85% ex-military or intelligence professionals. Is that accurate?
And that's correct. You know, for some reason, and I think it's quite obvious, veterans navigate to us. They really do kind of make their way and they find us and they really want to come work for us. And of course, we'll take anybody on. We don't just hire, military veterans. We really vet the whole gamut of individuals. We like to have kind of a variety of people working for us with different skill sets. And of course, you know, the intelligence agencies, military, corporate security, law enforcement, that is the core of what makes up Eagle Eye.
Right. What's the number one due diligence question that a potential client could ask your firm, but very few people ask? But would it be something that you would ask if you sold Eagle Eye tomorrow and you went to go hire someone for your family? What's kind of one sharp question that they could ask?
I want to know who this person has been hanging out with or been associated with for the last 20 years. You know, and I think that's a key question. And not only have we learned to solve it and figure out the answers to that, but it's a key question because there's something I learned growing up, you know, from my mother. She would ask me, she would tell me who you hang with and I'll tell you who you are. So just because an individual, whether this is a corporate individual, whether this is a high net worth individual, and it doesn't even matter how old they are, everybody is susceptible to making mistakes. Now, how they got through those mistakes, how they solved those mistakes, and what they did after those mistakes is one thing, but you need to know what those mistakes were, especially if you're investing millions of dollars of your own money, your investor money, your family office money. If you're putting your family out in front of these people, you want a clear picture of where they've been, who they've been with, and what they're currently doing. And I think a great way to figure that out is obviously to get some sort of report going where you can see. Now, it's very fortunate for guys like us because now with social media, once you put something out there, you know, it's out there for life. And I think a lot of people don't realize that now growing up. And this is something I tell the younger generation, be careful for what you post and the social media platforms you have, because that information really never disappears. Somebody will track that. And something you put now may be used against you or may pop up later, 15, 20 years from now, no matter how benign you may think it is at the time, it may turn around and get you later. So that's definitely something that we've done a lot for our clients is search way back.
Right. The I was just joking part doesn't play too well most times these days. No matter
exactly.
What, right. So
yeah.
What's the finally here? What's the $100,000 piece of advice you could leave family offices with or investors with? It could be related to due diligence or security, or maybe something else you've learned by being in this business.
I'm going to tell you something that I learned in the military that I discarded because I didn't understand it. I didn't have the experience to really take it on, but now I completely understand it. And it is something that I use every day. And I tell everybody from day one, and you're going to hear this in Dallas when we give our 15-minute brief, when we're there. The devil is in the details, right? I know you've heard that, but it's always the little things. It's the little things day to day that we don't pay attention to sometimes, or we discard, that end up getting us in trouble. So learn to pay attention to the details, stay self-aware throughout the day or throughout that week or throughout that travel experience so that you don't miss the important things in life. Now, you could use that toward anything. You could use that toward security, or you could use that toward raising your children. You know, pay attention to the little things in your life, right? The quality time you spend with your children, the quality time you spend with your corporate team, right? Make it all count. Devil's in the details.
Right. Great. Awesome. Appreciate you being here today. What's the best way for someone to reach out to you and your firm and get a hold of you if they have questions about Eagle Eye?
Sure. You can call my cell, 619-947-5442. You can reach us at our website, eessinc.com, or at operations@eessinc.com.
Great. Awesome, Juan. Well, I'll see you in Dallas soon, and thank you for your time here today.
All right. Thanks, Rich.